Welcome back, Midnight viewers, to Father Malone's Weekly Roundup. I am Father Malone. The pug is named Ripley Jean, but she is currently lounging by the pool. No joke, she just splays out next to the water and dozes until it becomes 1,000 degrees, and then she scurries back to safety. And I forgot to turn my phone off. Bad podcaster. Hold on a second. Hey, it's Paul Waller making a special guest appearance. But he is talking about stuff not meant yet for your sensitive ears, my friends. This was not a huge week for new releases. It was, however, a massive weekend in Disneyland, or Disney World, or wherever you happen to get your Disney. The D23 convention went down, and since I only have eyes for Battlestar Galactica when I'm not recording or scaring folk, I invited HP over to help parse through all the big news. It's Comiccon for Disneyana people, although it used to be just crazy Disney shit, but Disney owns fucking everything now, so it really is like Comic-Con. So we had a lot of announcements this past weekend. HP is here to talk about those things with me. HP, how are you doing, brother?
Hello, I'm doing great. How you doing, my friend?
I am well. Happy Friday to you.
Likewise. Whew, another long week.
Yeah, we're recording this on Monday. All right, we're going to dive right in. First of all, have you seen now, finally, the Doomsday trailer that they showed at Comic-Con that was, again, showed here and now shared with the public?
I finally did. A couple of days ago? I just was greeted with the news, as most of us were in the socials, and I said, oh, wow, this finally came out. That's cool. And it was everything that you said it would be. The money shot is obviously Doom summoning the Sentinels from behind him, the destroyed Sentinels. That looked great.
I was right.
Yeah. Look, I again, we talked about this at length, but I can't help looking at all of this with a real jaundiced view. I want to look at it with fresh eyes and go, oh, this looks so cool. I can't wait. And indeed, I cannot wait. I just don't want to be proven right in thinking that this is... it's hard to get past the idea that this is all covering up for the fact that the Kang stuff blew up in their faces. So, I don't know.
Do you know how I'm feeling, honestly, these days?
Yeah, I'd love to know.
I kind of just want to hop frog over Doomsday. I want to vault over Secret Wars. And I just want to start anew. Just give us the X-Men now. Just give us you know what I mean? I don't need a big bad to usher in a new age. I just need the new age.
I'm kind of with you on that. I mean, I'm not as jazzed about X-Men because although I did read a lot of X-Men in my youth, to be honest, I don't think they were ever my favorite superhero group, but I don't know, the casting, we were going to get right into the
I guess we'll get that. I was going to do it last, but we might as well do it first, which is the huge news was that they finally gave us an X-Men cast. They've been dancing around it for years and years. We've heard every permutation of who could possibly be this, that, or the other. Now, there are some glaring omissions, and we'll get to those too. But, okay, first of all, Sadie Sink clearly is Jean Grey. We've already seen her now in Spider-Man. The Emma Frost character is going to be played by Samara Weaving, who I can't think of a better person to play that character, honestly. Yeah. A younger Emma Frost? Absolutely. Indy Navarrete from Obsession, the victim in Obsession, also the villain of Obsession as Rogue, which I think is great, actually. She's charming as fuck, that girl.
She's having such I hate to use the phrase because it kind of makes me cringe. She's having a moment. It's really amazing how Obsession just vaulted her into the A-list. And it's obviously, I don't want to take away from the fact that it's very well deserved because you've said this yourself in your review, I think, of Obsession. That movie doesn't work if not for her. So all well deserved, and I'm actually thrilled for her. I think she's got quite a career ahead of her.
Let me tangent for a second real quick. Halloween Horror Nights. Universal Studios puts on Halloween Horror Nights every year. They do it in Orlando, and they do it in Hollywood. They also do it in Tokyo and Singapore, and I'm sure they're going to do it in the UK when that one finally opens too. So they announced last moment that they were going to be including Obsession this year. And the way they're doing it, because it's too late to make an entire house for it, an entire maze, they're going to have her character, Indy Navarrete's character, roaming the park as an interactable horror icon. So there's been a lot of pushback against that because they feel that the movie is a parable for sexual assault and that this character is actually a victim, and it's in bad taste to have her roaming the park. And I would say that Candyman was a victim of racial injustice, and I wouldn't see him out of place roaming the park. Jason Voorhees was a mentally challenged kid who was not looked after and drowned. I think he's a victim, and I wouldn't see him as a problem roaming the park. At a certain point, the victims become the villains in horror movies, and then they're villains. Sorry. That's unfortunately my feeling on that. No matter what parable you've laid over the plot at hand, that character is the villain by the time the movie rolls around. But by the time the ending comes around,
not every villain is Michael Myers, who is just evil, just roaming, the boogeyman. A lot of evil has its roots in some sort of victim,
but not Nathaniel, Mr. Sinister, Nathaniel Essex. He's just a bad motherfucker. And finally, Adam Driver, after years of discussions about who he could potentially play, including everyone thought he was going to be Magneto. He even made a joke when he made the announcement that he was playing Magneto. And instead, we're getting our first cinematic portrayal of Mr. Sinister. Are you excited, HP?
Yeah, look, I think he's a great actor. I actually thought I had read somewhere that he might have been tapped to play Professor X. I think he would have been fine as Professor X, but I'm intrigued by it. I think this could be I guess the thing that I'm wondering about is we had the very first X-Men movie was a very conscious attempt to move away from the comic book and the garishness of the costumes and everything else. I'm kind of hoping they go back the other way, and this is really a fun comic book style film, not trying to make it a more real world and tamp down those elements. So I'm really hoping that's the case.
Look, we can now make the living cartoons. Disney just keeps pumping out live action versions of every fucking animated thing they've ever done, and they make it look realistic. So yeah, I agree. I want the total X-Men look now. Make X-Men 97, the animated show, as a live action feature with this cast.
Yeah, it's like The Dark Knight, I guess. You could even maybe go back even to the original Batman. The tendency was to make it dark and grim because I guess by people I mean executives, and they assume that to actually put a comic book on screen, they're kind of silly. They were kind of looked down upon as being not very interesting for more mature audiences. We're ready. The pendulum has to swing back the other way. Let's see. I want to see one of the things. This isn't comic book, but just as a slight tangent. I think we've talked a little bit about Masters of the Universe, and it was a failure, yes, but I saw it and I loved it. And part of the reason why I enjoyed it so much is because we're getting back into the fun of it. It was kind of Flash Gordon style, garish outfits and outrageousness, and the soundtrack was styled after those 80s rock sort of soundtracks. I want the same thing for comic book movies. They should. A wise man once told me, Father Malone, that movies should be fun. And that's what I want out of comic book movies going forward.
You're misquoting that genius. The line is movies should be movies should be entertaining.
That's true. I'm paraphrasing. I'm not misquoting. I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah. Okay. Listen. The other members of the cast, Cyclops is being played by Kit Connor. I have no idea who he is. Storm is being played by Maya Boyd. I don't know who she is.
I think, by the way, the guy who's playing Cyclops, I think, isn't he in Heartstopper, that Netflix show?
He may be. I don't know.
I think he is.
And Professor X is being played by Christopher Abbott, defying all of the speculations by all the fanboys who always just cast whoever they want and then announce it as if it's actually occurring. Instead, it's being played by Christopher Abbott, who is an actor I don't know.
I don't know either. Is he related? Oh, no. I don't know. I was going to ask you what he was in.
To Minnie Driver. That's who he's related to. No, that's Adam Driver. No, I'm joking. They're not related at all.
No. She just had, did you read? She had this terrible car accident recently.
No.
I was reading an article.
Okay?
Like she apparently very lucky to be alive. And she was quite complimentary to whatever car she was driving. I think it was like a Kia something or other. And she was like, and by the way, a shout out to this car because I'd be dead if it wasn't for this car.
Wow.
But apparently very shaken up, and I hope she's okay.
As anyone would be. That's
anyway,
no fun having metal slammed into you at high velocity.
No, bummer. But yeah, great, interesting. I think that's one of the things that I'm most hopeful for is that I don't know most of the new cast, so I will have very few preconceived notions going into X-Men.
No Beast mentioned. No Wolverine mentioned.
I'm
No
okay with that.
Nightcrawler mentioned.
Well, I take that back. I was going to say they're going back to the original team, but Rogue wasn't part of the original X-Men, so there goes that theory.
Yeah, they're just picking and choosing. I imagine that a lot of these characters are going to appear. It's just they didn't have everybody signed by the time the D23 stage needed to be crowded with actors.
Well, who would you cast as the new Wolverine?
I got no problem with that Taron Egerton fella being Wolverine. He's tiny and compact and angry and can be really aggressive. I bet he would be a really good Logan, honestly.
He would. Do you think he might be getting a little too old, though?
I absolutely do think that. But I think with this cast, this age, he's actually the perfect age for it.
A little more wizened, a little more...
Yeah, Wolverine's always supposed to be a bit of an older character. He's not going to that school. He's just hanging out there.
I agree. Yeah, I don't know who he would get for Beast, because he's mostly makeup anyway.
Although, there's supposed to be this love triangle between Jean Grey and... But she's in her 20s in Spider-Man. It's not like she's a kid, like Rogue.
Is she in her 20s?
Where's Dazzler?
Dazzler could be a really interesting character because she is, I mean, for lack of a better term, she's so much lighter and brighter. She doesn't have that whatever moroseness you want to attach to mutants just by virtue of the fact that they're being hunted. Dazzler was always, I mean, she was like a superstar. I think it would be an interesting character to have.
I agree.
I don't know. I don't know that much about the character. I just know that she was like a rock star or a singer or something.
Donde está Magneto?
I don't know, man. That's another one that would be.
Where's Magneto? Now, Magneto and Charles have to be basically the same age, so that at least we know the age range of the actor. Mid-30s, I guess, for Magneto, which would make him a victim of which war now?
I think
they're going to have to let go of the World War II stuff at this point, right?
Well, yeah, but that's so integral to the character. It'd be hard for me to see what do you replace that with.
Good question, and maybe that's why they're going with Mr. Sinister for our first X-Men adventure.
Yeah, I don't know. Even what's funny, the other day I was rewatching a little bit of First Class with the Fassbender.
I thought that movie a great deal.
Me too. It's grown in my estimation. Like, I really like it a lot more now. Someone recently asked me, what's your favorite X-Men movie? And my initial reaction was Days of Future Past, but it might actually be First Class.
I definitely think it's First Class. They got the time period going with the Cuban Missile Crisis and everything, and Michael Ironside is in it in the end. Is it Michael Ironside or is it, what's his name?
No.
Ajax.
Why can't I think of the guy's name? From Luther from 48 Hours.
He was going to be Hicks, and then he got busted for heroin.
Oh, why am I always blanking?
James
Remar. Remar. Thank you. You helped me get there. Remar.
Yeah, wasn't he in the end of X-Men First Class? I think it was. I don't know. There was some grizzled old great character actor on board one of those ships during that fantastic fucking finale when Magneto freezes all the fucking warheads. Oh my god!
It's a good movie, and I enjoyed it when I saw it. I didn't think it was like the greatest. I think part of it is whoever's playing Emma Frost in it. What's her name? The actress
January
from, Jones. I didn't think she was that charismatic in it.
No, she's not.
I guess
which is a drag. Well, yeah, she's like a wooden plank in the film, unfortunately. And she's so fucking sexy just as a human, and they've dressed her in the least sexy way possible. So it's like we're getting the worst of both worlds.
Yeah, that was that sort of loss of charisma at the center of the movie but there's so much else that makes up for it. I love, like, Kevin Bacon is in it. He's like he's really good, but Fassbender is incredible in that. I think he's like my Magneto, I guess, in a way.
Yeah, I think he's the best Magneto out there. I mean, all deference to Gandalf.
Yeah, no, he was great for that series and what they were doing. But I don't know. It's an interesting thing to think about who they would get to play Magneto. I assume I would think for that they'd want a known quantity because this movie is otherwise filled with a lot of people that maybe aren't so well known. But I think for Magneto, you want somebody who maybe can pull in a little more cachet into the production.
How about Michael B. Jordan?
Too old.
Too old?
Yeah, I think so.
He's 40. He'd be playing mid-30s. He could play mid-30s.
Well, what would be the trauma that
I'm not rewriting the character for no millions of dollars.
You're just saying,
okay? I'm
like,
just saying if you said who would you cast in their 30s right now as Magneto, I think he's an interesting choice.
But he's almost too big of an actor, like blindingly big.
I agree, and I think that might be good for him.
Oscar winner Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, man, you need who else has that gravity in this cast? Not even Adam Driver has that kind of gravity. And it's not also relying on the old stalwarts of yesteryear who we used to prop in, people like Patrick Stewart or something.
You've seen the trailer for his Thomas Crown Affair, right?
No.
You haven't seen it? Oh, okay. Well, you never even saw the Pierce Brosnan remake, did you?
I did eventually.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I thought it was okay.
It was good. Yeah, this looked. I mean, he directed.
The movie takes place in Boston.
Does it?
The original one, Steve McQueen one, does.
I don't know that this one.
That one didn't, and it was a failure because of that reason.
I don't know if it was a failure.
And Renee Russo, she's not exactly a whirlwind of charisma herself.
No, but I thought she was fine in it.
She's fine. She's fine.
I had very few notes. I thought she was good.
She's fine.
Fine.
All right, that's enough with the X-Men.
Anyway, move on.
Other announcements. HP Incredibles Part 3. Are you excited?
No.
I do not remember one frame of Part 2, but I love the first one with every fiber of my being.
I agree with you. I really enjoyed the first one, but I'm not even sure. I may not have even seen the sequel. It just didn't really. It just kind of came and went in my mind, and that was it. This is part of a larger problem that I see with all these announcements with Disney, because not only do we have The Incredibles 3, but we have a million sequels. We have Lilo and Stitch. We have Coco 2. This bores me to death.
Frozen 3, HP.
Frozen 3.
All the gad you can swallow.
This is a symptom of a larger problem that I have, which is, look, it's not an original thought to say that there's a dearth of creativity in Hollywood.
Tangled, the live-action television series.
Ice Age Boiling Point with Queen Latifah.
Another Percy Jackson? How many Percy Jacksons are there?
Well, I'm okay with that. Have you seen any of the Percy Jacksons?
I saw one of those movies.
One of the movies with Logan Lerman.
I guess.
He played Percy Jackson.
I guess so.
The reason that it was even on my radar is because my son was a big fan of the books and the author, and he read everything, and he was we saw the movies. Obviously didn't really measure up in terms of quality, but so when the TV series was announced, my son was very excited. We watched the first season. He still nitpicked a lot because I guess there are a lot of diversions from the book, but I will say from my part, I enjoyed it. I thought the cast was pretty good. The kid that they had playing Percy Jackson is really good. I can't necessarily say that he's on a level of, say, like the kids from Harry Potter, but I think he's growing into a really good actor. He may be someone to watch later in life, but that's a pretty decent show. Got a good budget, some interesting actors. If you like that sort of thing, it will always be in the wake of Harry Potter because ultimately it's about a kid who's a nobody who becomes a somebody unbeknownst to him, right?
The chosen one, if you will.
Yeah, it's worth watching. It's not a bad way to spend a season of television.
I'm sure 20 years from now, I will eat it up like I usually do with pop culture entertainment.
I give that a pass because it's a TV series and it's not a sequel like we're describing. But Princess Diaries 3, Romeo and Michelle 2.
Okay, now, Romeo and Michelle 2, that is something I need to talk about because I had a friend who was up for a role in that movie, so I got to read that script about a year and a half before the film came out, right?
Okay.
And I didn't really get the script. And then I saw the film, and I didn't really get the movie. And I have not. I have not.
I thought you were going to go the other way.
No, I felt vindicated when I saw the movie. I did not respond to the material. But it's 20 years later now, right?
Yeah.
And those characters in that movie are so beloved that I think it's time that I reappraise it. People are fanatical for that film. And I say this because I felt this way about that film, Practical Magic, which I saw initially when it came out and did not see anything of value in it. And then it's one of those, my late wife Jessica loved that movie and then forced me to watch it, and I would watch it with her all the time. And I'm like, oh, no, I get it now. I get it. Because there seemed to be some sort of crossover with Romy and Michelle people and Practical Magic people. So I'm going to have to watch Romy and Michelle's high school reunion once again and see if there's merit there that I was just not open to.
I put it a little bit in the same category. People who love the movie Empire Records. For me, that movie was, I came and went and I thought, whatever. There was some interest. There were some good actors in it, but I didn't think it was any great shakes. But there are people who, there's like, isn't there a Rex Manning Day where people dress up as him? And it's such a beloved cult hit. I think Romy and Michelle hits some of the same notes. But actually, side note, Father Malone, what's your opinion of Mira Sorvino?
I love Mira Sorvino, actually.
Me too. Do you think she was ultimately done dirty by the whole Miramax
1
thing?
million.
You agree, right?
I agree wholeheartedly. Yes, I think she's great. She works dramatically and comedically, and like almost effortlessly, it seems. I'd never seen a false note for her. I think she totally deserved that Academy Award for fucking Mighty Aphrodite. And then it was one of those things where we just assumed she got married or had kids or gave up the business or something, but was not the case. Was actually blackballed. People were afraid to deal with Harvey Weinstein and fucking Miramax.
It's a shame. She did. She was in a Modern Family season or two where she played like a Gwyneth Paltrow type who created her own business, and then the show was called Goop, and it's all this basically snake oil stuff. So she played essentially Gwyneth Paltrow, a very dumbed down version, and she killed. She was so funny in it and great. And I think what you're describing is, it's like Bridget Fonda made a very conscious choice to stop working, and she just went away. And every once in a while, the paparazzi will catch a glimpse of her going in and out of a store or something. But that didn't, you're right, that didn't happen with Mira Sorvino. She just, from being such a lauded and successful actress to next to nothing. It's insane.
Wasn't she up for like Lord of the Rings or something, and she was not allowed to like even test for it? There's like, it's stuff like that. It's just some bullshit where she was a great actress and could have been doing like good, meaningful work during this entire time period, and like wasn't available. It's fucked up, man. That's
the shame of it. And it's amazing. Her father is Paul Sorvino, one of the most feared mobster actors there ever was. Seems like an intense guy, so it's surprising, maybe in a silly way, that he would allow this to happen without grabbing somebody by the shirt collar and saying, you give my daughter a chance, God damn it.
He's in Goodfellas. Don't they know people?
Seriously, maybe he's connected in some obscure way, maybe not, but I wouldn't take that chance. He's Paul Sorvino, for God's sake.
No, I got to turn my back on you. Remember him in Turk 182? He's the announcer at the ball game.
Oh, he is. Yeah.
Where was the egg cream created? Brooklyn.
Anyway, these sequels, these Disney sequels announced left me cold. The one that actually there is one though, at least one that had me intrigued, Father Malone, and I would say, and this is a TV show, so maybe it's really not a sequel by my own admission. But what has me somewhat excited, and maybe you'll disagree with me on this, is Vision Quest.
I have now watched the trailer for Vision Quest as well, and I am completely excited for it. They build it, I noticed, as the completion of a trilogy.
Good point. I was going to ask you about this.
So,
what's the trilogy?
The trilogy is WandaVision, which begat Agatha All Along, which begat Vision Quest. Mm-hmm. And that makes sense. Agatha was ultimately the villain of WandaVision, and then we got her story, and now we're finding out what occurred to Vision at the end of WandaVision as well. And what I particularly like, I see people bitching, because people can't stop fucking bitching online immediately, but Paul Bettany sees Ultron and says, no, human avatars only. And so we get James Spader. And so the sight of James Spader and Paul Bettany in this weird sitcom-y kind of environment is so delightful to me. But there are people like saying, oh, trying to save on budget. We're not going to get Ultron and Vision for this entire show. Shut your fucking mouths, man.
God damn.
Also, the idea that the other avatars in this weird cyberspace area are Tony Stark's other avatars. So that's Jarvis back there and Friday and the two robots. The two robot arms are the two dudes in the background, like the dummy and the one that uses the camera and shit.
Makes sense to me. I'm maybe one of the few that really enjoyed WandaVision. It was new at the time. It was interesting.
Are there people who didn't? Because they can get fucked. That's a great show.
I just think some people maybe thought either it was too long or maybe too out there. I don't know. There was something about it that charmed me at the time. Now, granted, I have not watched it since I saw them in first run, if you will. But this is obviously trafficking in much the same sort of vibe, where this is all, or this is mostly interior to Vision and this is his escape, his interior escape from everything that's been happening to him. And I find that whole notion fascinating. And I would say to people who are annoyed that Ultron isn't featured, more prominently, is look, if you get James Spader in a crazy hermit type beard, you use fucking James Spader in a crazy hermit beard. The guy is, James Spader is a national treasure. The guy is awesome. We've known him since he played a bully in the 80s, Father Malone, and he's still going strong. He still sounds exactly the same. He's got the same velvet voice. I'm delighted by the fact that he's going to be in there doing kooky stuff with Vision. And we're going to be wondering, is he helping Vision? Does he have his own agenda? Is he still evil? What's going on with him? I can't wait.
I always think Molly Ringwald should have ended up with him at the end of Pretty in Pink.
No, you're not the only one. A lot of people do. Well, they reshot it, right? Or because
no, you're talking. Look, that movie was supposed to end with her and Ducky together.
Oh, Andrew McCarthy, I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, and then James Spader's in that movie. He plays a character named Steph, and he's just a cocksucker through the whole movie. But if you watch it, you can see he's completely in love with Molly Ringwald's character and knows he can never be with her. And I think that would have been more interesting to explore than that movie that we got. I think he's a better choice than both Ducky and Blaine. Anyhow, yes, I'm very excited for Vision Quest. But the other big news here at D23 HP is the Carousel of Progress updates at the Magic Kingdom. Are you excited? They're going to have new animatronics. They're going to have voices by Jamie Lee Curtis and Bryan Cranston now. Are you stoked? Are you ready to get involved with the Carousel of Progress? You got to get involved with Groats. You got to love Groats, HP.
You got my hair blown back. I thought you were going to say the big news is Space Mountain de la Terre à la Luna at Disneyland Paris. That is big news. No,
that is also big news. That actually is big news.
It is big news. Space Mountain at Disneyland Paris. Yeah, I have not been to Disney, since before the Star Wars part of the theme park opened. So this is probably going back 8 years, 9 years. It's been a while. I think they even at the what do you call it? Avatar. Those Avatar rides. I didn't get to go on those either before my time. So maybe this is a good time to think about going back to Disney. Maybe there's some cool new rides in the offing. I don't know.
Well, don't go yet. You got to wait a few years because they're building Villains Land in an obvious bid to combat what's going on over at Universal with their epic universe with they have an entire Universal Monsters Land.
Well,
the Dark Universe.
My question is where I know they have some sort of Avengers compound at one of these parks that you can kind of walk around, but that doesn't strike me as especially interesting. That's not cashing in to the degree that I would expect Disney to. Where's our Avengers 3D roller coaster theme park ride? Or where's it? Why haven't they cashed in to the degree they've cashed in on Star Wars?
It's kind of crazy that they haven't, but that's, I believe, completely on the books, planned. I know it's either Tokyo or Singapore or what Tokyo Disney, I think, is doing an entire Avengers land. I don't know what the plans are for Disneyland, because Disneyland is its own animal because there's only so much space in Anaheim. But the Magic Kingdom, they can do whatever the fuck they want down there. So obviously they're building Villains Land right now with a Maleficent coaster in a Mirror Realm dark ride where the evil mirror from Snow White pulls you into a land of mystery.
This is a Trekfest reference. You remember in First Contact when they go back in time in the Borg, we've seen that the Borg have assimilated Earth, and they look down and they can see what were continents are now all metallized and connected by bridges and things. Why have we not seen that same application to Disney World in Florida, where it's no longer Florida, the state, it's just a giant theme park set up by the good folks at Disney?
Well, I don't know when that's going to occur, but it should. And
they should take it over. I mean,
they could split it up between the Mouse and Universal down there.
Does anybody really care about Miami anymore? Is South Beach even a thing? No.
No, forget it. Just saw it off, turn it into an island of adventure, if you will.
Speaking of island of adventure, this brings me to another interesting theme park announcement. Father Malone, maybe you're getting to this. What is your opinion of Indiana Jones and the myth of the Jade Serpent?
Well, I will say that the current Indiana Jones ride that they have is pretty spectacular. I mean, I always have a great time on it. So
me too.
The idea that they're going to make another one with all the updated technology that they have going these days is pretty exciting, actually. And I believe that the Indiana Jones animatronics will actually look like Harrison Ford for once. So that'll be cool.
Yeah, I can only assume this is people giving their likeness for holograms and things. I think that's effectively the announcement, right? That he's giving his likeness to these people to do with as they please.
He will forever be in the park.
That's right. You'll be playing Indiana Jones till long after you're dead, Mr. Ford.
I saw this interview with him that was taken during the promotion for Captain America. And the interviewer was saying, the interviewer asked him, how do you, when you're on set, put away the embarrassment that you're playing a giant red Hulk? And he said, I'll let you in a little secret. That's what the money is for. Embarrassment? No. I don't know what you're talking about.
Love him.
Of course. He's a national treasure. The actual big news, HP, is that the Yeti audio animatronic will finally be restored at Expedition Everest at the Animal Kingdom. Oh my God, I've been waiting and waiting. There's a reason I haven't been to a Disney park in over a decade, and it's because of the Yeti. Free the Yeti, I say.
Our national nightmare is now over.
The Yeti will finally swipe at you as you approach his lair.
This reminds me, I don't know, you probably never watched this show, but I used to watch Lego Masters Australia with the kids, you know?
You used to watch what?
Lego
Masters Australia.
I will lay claim that is the best iteration of Lego Masters. I will battle anybody.
That is the craziest thing I've heard all week.
It's incredible because they have this. The secret is they have this host. His name, I think he's like a well-known Australian presenter named Hamish Blake. And he's amazing. He's so comfortable and he's funny and he's very warm to the contestants. And he
has to be more pleasant than Will Arnett, which was what keeps me from watching the American version.
It's the U.S. version they can't hold a candle to the Australian one. But anyway, they'll be building, they'll say, well, build a roller coaster and use as your theme conspiracies or something, right? So someone will make one that has to do with the Yeti or with Bigfoot. And when you're saying it swipes at you, that's what they'll do. They'll create this animatronic creature that as the little Lego cart will go over the bend, it will go whoop and swipe at them. So when you say Yeti swiping, I think of a little mini Lego Yeti that's swiping at a little plastic car going by.
I'm going to get that made up as a sticker. Yeti swiping since 2017, midnight viewing.
But I will say, all kidding aside, if you're going to watch Lego Masters, please watch Lego Masters Australia. You will not be disappointed.
I'm going to have to take your word for it.
Please do. But
okay, so the other big news.
More big news. This is crazy.
Is the Star Wars news, HP.
Starfighter?
Starfighter with character named Cade Oberon, played by Ryan Gosling. We got to see some footage. Did you see the footage?
I did not see the footage yet, I admit.
Looks okay.
It's what's his name?
More Star Wars. Sean Levy.
Sean Levy, the director, yeah, who you were very cold on when this was announced.
I'm cold on him doing Ghost Rider. I don't know what this movie's going to look like. I enjoyed Deadpool and Wolverine. I've seen it a couple of times. I'm
too.
sure. Did he do something before that? I probably enjoyed that as well.
He did Freeman.
Freeman.
Is that the one with the guy who's the
I
NPC?
hated that movie. Oh, boy, did I hate that movie. Ooh, now that I'm thinking about it, did I hate that movie. Do you know that ending takes place on Revere Beach? They filmed it in Revere Beach.
I did know that. I heard that somewhere.
Really lame. Anyway. Okay, yeah, so Starfighter.
Yeah.
I'm as looking forward to it as I am any Star Wars property. It will probably be better than Mandalorian and Grogu.
Well, that's a very low bar.
I know, but that's the bar that they've set, so that's what I'm going to go with here. But the real big news, HP,
Wait, there's more?
is Ahsoka Season 2. So look out, everybody. We're going to get more Thrawn, and we're going to get more fetch quests, and we're going to have to go find the mystical blurbity derb before the Empire does. Because even though the point of the entire first fucking 3 movies was the fall of the Empire, there's a certain contingent of creatives at Lucasfilm who just fucking can't get over the fact that they want to live during those New Hope through Return of the Jedi years. And I wish they would just set all of their fucking fictions during that period so that we can have some sort of, I don't know, narrative flow in the rest of the Star Wars universe where it isn't just the rise of the Empire, the fall. They rise again as something else, they fall again. It's so fucking boring to me.
Yeah. Well, a couple things. First of all, I could have sworn there was already a season 2. You know what I mean? It just feels like it's been around forever now. And that's whatever. But you use the word occasionally on the podcast, which I love, and I need to bring it back in a big way, which is falderall. This all is it's just the storytelling falderall, like you said. Let's move on. We don't just need to see this stuff happening in cycles. We've seen the Empire rise. We've seen the Empire fall. The thing is, okay, bit of a rant. When the Mandalorian series was originally announced, I could not have been more excited. Wow, this is going to be we're going to actually see a bounty hunter do what bounty hunters do. It's going to be like a Western. He's going to go from planet to planet in the Outer Rim, and it's going to be these crazy adventures. And then he fucking got involved with this stupid Grogu. And we've been stuck with forever. Where are the bounty hunters we were promised? Where are the lowlifes, the scum and villainy? I don't need this redemptive arc with my fucking bounty hunter. That's what I'm waiting for, Father Malone.
I agree with you. For some reason, everyone has to tell a gigantic, epic story with sweep and purpose. And nobody in the Star Wars universe creatively has embraced an episodic idea of Star Wars. And those are just as valid. I do 2-3 fucking shows about anthology television series, for Christ's sake. One-off stories are fucking awesome. And we're not even talking about one-off stories. We're talking about a non-serialized Star Wars universe and they chose the perfect character, a bounty hunter, to take us to every portion of the galaxy. In every scenario, we get to see every strata of a society and how that whole universe works. And instead, it's the fucking Empire again. It's the fucking Empire. Over and over again, the fucking Empire. Who gives a shit, man? There are no other villains in the fucking Star Wars universe? You know what? People fucking hated that Solo movie. At least it was like a gangster thing. And they were like, the Empire was just another villain out there to be dealt with.
Yeah, it's a spin. I will say, for what you're describing, the video game Star Wars Outlaws gets you the closest to because it's the main character, your avatar, is essentially a scoundrel. And they can't resist getting involved in a little bit of, oh, hey, you want to help us in the rebellion, blah, blah, blah. But there is a lot in the game of you're dealing with different underworld factions. And the cool thing is, if you do jobs for these factions that are not part of the main quest, but if you do one, there's a balance to this reputation system. So if you do something good for one faction, you risk, raising the ire of another faction. So you're balancing the tension of all these. They didn't go far enough, in my opinion, with the sort of scoundrel aspect of the character, but you, my friend, should play that game at some point if that's what you're looking for.
I know, and I will. I just, after Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, which took me for fucking ever, like, I don't have time to invest in a video game. As I said, I'm fucking...
I hear you.
Listeners already know by now that I'm currently engaged in a Battlestar Galactica rewatch. I'm in the 4th season now, and that's consuming all of my time, which is crazy because we don't even start recording for another month or so. But anyway, I may have mentioned this on this show or another show, but somewhere I have. But I have a friend who, when it was announced that they were making The Force Awakens, they were going to do a direct sequel series to Star Wars A New Hope, blah, blah, blah. Episodes 7, 8, 9, right? Mm-hmm. He vowed then, I'm never going to see those movies. And I said, well, why? Do you think it won't be good or bad or whatever? He says, no, like prequels are fine, but anything now undoes everything from those 3 movies. Everything those characters worked for that we got as a finale in Return of the Jedi gets undone immediately once you pull them back into the universe. You know what I mean? And now... it's a lesser story because it's once again the fucking Empire. That movie, Force Awakens, is an automatic reset to A New Hope. It's what was the purpose of any of it? Why did all of those people die defeating the fucking Empire just for us to go like, no, they're still around and they're bigger and badder than ever now for no reason, with no explanation?
It's interesting that you say that because just slightly off topic, getting back into the Marvel stuff for a minute. I read a post on one of the socials about somebody who was upset because they said, look, I'm upset because Disney they're bringing back all of these X-Men. They're bringing back the ones that I knew and loved and grew up with because it's obvious that what they're going to do is they're going to destroy the universe that these characters exist in the service of the plot for Doomsday. And that this person was saying that bothers me because I watched these movies in good faith and assumed that these characters were all basically living their best life and they were fighting for truth and justice and they were making a go of it and in their universe. And now you're telling me you're bringing them back solely for the purpose of destroying them in their universe on screen, which I thought was the weirdest take. One of the weirdest takes I've read in a long time, Father Malone. And somehow it reminds me of what you're saying about watching The Force Awakens and all these sequels because it's somehow cheapening the story that we've already been told.
That's exactly it. It turns everything into just meat for the beast.
Right.
Like there are so many varied tributaries in the X-Men universe right now as far as different casts and different plot lines. I mean, they've remade fucking Dark Phoenix already. I heard that they were attempting to do it again a 3rd time here. But,
boy, I hope they don't. I hope they just let that lie. We don't need another Dark Phoenix with Jean Grey.
Yeah, man. They've told that fucking story. It's not the best story anyway. Like,
no.
X-Men have hundreds of stories, if not thousands, like... to draw from if they need to draw from. Like, why are you going back to that same Dark Phoenix well? It's because they don't have any good female villains. That's the answer.
So I sidetracked you from your Star Wars take.
I don't know. What was I saying? Who cares?
You're saying that the sequels cheapened what came before it.
Yeah. Well, I think you said it best. What was your analogy?
Well, it wasn't my analogy, but it was this take that I read, which is they're going through this trouble of bringing back all these beloved actors.
But I agree with that because what I was saying about the X-Men is no matter where it ended up with a happy ending, and now it's and not off-screen guys. It's like somebody saying to you at the end, and then they were all murdered on a battle world for sport. What? Why?
Yeah. It was a slant that I had not It hadn't occurred to me because we're also excited to see these classic X-Men actors and characters back on screen, but I don't know if people realize they're just being brought back so we can kill them. That's pretty much it.
A lot of shorthand for what a badass Doctor Doom is, that they're going to wipe out your childhood favorites. Unearned. I think Kang was in the right direction, though. I mean, Kang was a multiverse guy.
Yep. And that goes back to my original point, which is we are just in the wake of mopping up a mess. This is in no way what was originally intended for this phase of the Marvel Universe.
So I guess I'll say it again. Let's just hopfrog on over these next two movies and just get right to X-Men. Just start it anew. I'm good with it. I don't need to see all of my favorite characters die needlessly.
Agreed. It would be interesting to see where we're at in a couple of years. Well, we got to get there.
Yeah, well, 2028. That's May of 2028 is when the X-Men's going to be
Christ,
premiering.
2028.
Yeah.
2 fucking years. Who knows where we're going to be in 2 years, Father Malone?
A cinder.
Well, I mean, that's one way to look at it. I'm just saying in terms of us, like as people, like, hell, I don't know. Am I going to still be around? I hope I'm going to be around in 2 years, but who knows?
Of course
Nothing
you will. You know where you'll
guaranteed.
be in 2 years? I'll tell you exactly where you'll be, HB. You'll be
Sitting
right here
here
with me reviewing X-Men.
Talking about the hollow cube of X-Men, the upcoming hollow cube.
Indeed. And you're going to be here with us too, listeners. That's going to do it for the Roundup this week. HP, tell these people where you can find you, where they can find you, not you can find them. You know where to find them. They're fucking everywhere.
Sure, they're everywhere. I co-host the Night Mr. Walters Taxi podcast with my co-host, Father Malone, here. I also host the Noise Junkies Music Podcast, and I have a Bandcamp site, hpmusicplace.bandcamp.com.
Check all that out. As for me, everybody, it's midnight viewing. Every Monday, it's either a fest with HP, Von Doom Fest. This is a continuation of Von Doom Fest here at the Roundup right now. And Fridays, it's the Roundup, where we're doing... where I always do. You just listen to it. I don't need to tell you anything about that. But I do want to tell you about the Patreon channel, because not only do we have shows like Vault 702, the Fallout podcast that I do with Nuka Coda Quantum, and Step Off, the White Rapper show that I do with HP here about the White Rapper show from the early 2000s, a genius show that you can watch right now on YouTube, and you probably should. Anyway, not only do we do those two shows, but Paul Waller and I have been working our way through the werewolf world. And we got a new episode up there right now from a movie from '92 called Mad at the Moon. So I got a new episode of that there. And HP, I mentioned I'm slowly moving my catalog of Night Gallery episodes over to the Patreon channel. So if you go to listen on your podcatcher of choice, your Spotify's, your Apple Music's right now, where did season 1 of Night Gallery go? I'll tell you where it went. It's in Patreon right now. And that trend will continue. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, try to enjoy the daylight.